In the text of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there are a lot of different parts of yoga that has been mentioned. One of them is Kriya Yoga, Tapas, Svadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhanani. The burning desire or the enthusiasm to reach the perfection, stage of perfection, self-study, and total surrender to oneself or to God. That's exactly what is called as Kriya Yoga. Let's discuss this in detail. I'm Harsha Nagaraj. Welcome back. Kriya Yoga comes as the first sutra in the second chapter of this text of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Kriya Yoga Tapasvadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. This is the sutra in the text which explains what Kriya Yoga is. This has three different words in it. Tapas, Svadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. I'm pretty sure all of you would have heard the word tapas. This is usually associated with the word tapas is usually associated with sages or rishis or monks who do spiritual practices in the sadhana for years together. This is the most commonly used example to explain what tapas is. This is one of the meaning, but this is not the only meaning of it. Tapas is what we call as the burning desire that you have within yourself to reach the stage of perfection with respect to any path of knowledge that you wish to pursue. For example, if you're on the path of yoga, tapas is that enthusiasm that never dies, but rather grows as time passes by, as you continue to keep on doing practices. See, each one of us need to have this desire, burning enthusiasm within us, which never fades away. All the practices that we do, all the lifestyle habits that we develop, although the discipline that we follow as a routine, this has to help us grow on the inside. The inner desire, the inner enthusiasm should never fade away. Tapas is the burning desire that you have within yourself to reach the stage of perfection. This can't fade away after 1 or 2 days, after 1 or 2 days, 1 or 3 days, one after a week, after a month. No, the enthusiasm should never die. Enthusiasm in you, once it starts to fade away, you can come to an inference saying, okay, life is leaving me. It's as simple as that. Life force is leaving me. Enthusiasm, you letting go of the enthusiasm, you letting go of your life, it's one and the same. All of us need to have this enthusiasm within us. It's very, very essential for us to live. You think food is the top priority for you to live physically. No, you'll be physically alive, but you'll be mentally dead. Intellectually, you'll be rusting on the inside. Enthusiasm, tapas, what we call as enthusiasm, it's very, very essential. It's the driving force behind the whole existence that exists around you and inside of you. You can't let go of the enthusiasm that you have for life. There may be enthusiasm in order to accumulate wealth, in order to accumulate, whatever you wish for, in order to reach the milestones that you have set. But this enthusiasm should also help you to feel happy. Just being enthusiastic but being miserable on the inside, it makes life way too difficult to live. Your life becomes a misery. Enthusiasm is very, very essential. When you start enjoying it, you have to drive energy from the enthusiasm that that helps you feel alive. It's very, very important. Just doing all the practices that you're doing. And tapas, the word tapas or enthusiasm, it's not restricted to just yoga. This can be with respect to any stream of work, any stream of knowledge that you pursue. This enthusiasm, if it dies, and if you're doing work or if you're doing any kind of activity just for the sake of doing it, it's better you don't do it at all. You doing these actions, maybe it'll be just at the physical level. There's no motivation for you. See, each and every action that you do, it has to help you feel alive. That's very, very important. Feeling, being this experience of wanting to feel alive, it's the most basic necessity of you being a human. If you deprive yourself this basic ability of wanting to feel alive, wanting to feel fresh, every day you wake up, every day you start to open your eyes in the morning, if this is not there, you're dead. It's very, very essential. This enthusiasm is kept alive. And how do you do that? You pursue that thing which makes you feel alive. I've been saying this. Each and every one of us have this one habit which is very close to our heart, which is very close to our soul. And deep down, we know inside ourselves that if I do this and this thing, I'll feel as if I've fulfilled my purpose on that particular day. And repeating this over a span of months and years, you feel like, okay, you've fulfilled your purpose in life. This is what tapas is all about. And this is definitely not restricted to just yoga. I'm not saying you practice yoga, only then you'll understand what this is. This can be with respect to any stream of knowledge. Let's not stereotype, let's not streamline ourselves and say this is restricted only to yoga. Definitely no. It can be any stream of knowledge, it can be any stream of practices, it can be anything. Pursue that which helps you grow, evolve, shine, and glow on the inside. I mean, once this happiness starts to, burst out from the inside, naturally you'll start sharing it among everyone around you. When was the last time you laughed? When was the last time you shared happiness? Why do you think that is not happening? Because you're not happy on the inside with whatever you do. You're doing whatever work you're doing because, yeah, it's the source of income for you. Please stop that. Just sticking to a particular work just because source of income and it's giving you economic stability, that shouldn't be the purpose. You're selling your soul, and you feel like, okay, someone else is hurting you. You are hurting yourself. Each and every one of us have immense energy within us to break barriers, to set new trends, to come up with new ideas, and to invest. We all of us have the time, energy, and all the resources that we need for us to pursue what we are born for. But you keep pushing it. Why? One simple reason: you're goddamn lazy. That's it. Coming up with reasons saying you have the responsibility of the family, you have the responsibility of this, that, it's all nonsense. I'll be honest with you. If this desire in you is giving you sleepless nights, you'll stop giving reasons. If it's not, you'll come up with reasons. You decide. It's all completely up to you. See, you are in complete control of your life. You decide, do I live? Do I enjoy? Am I born to live and experience this enthusiasm that I have every single day? Or do I want to make my life miserable? It's completely left to you. Tapas, enthusiasm, this burning desire, it's very, very essential for you to live and, most importantly, feel alive. 99% of the people live, 1% of the people are alive while they live. Which category do you fall into? There's no fun living. I'll be telling you. I'm telling you, it's really boring. It feels, you feel frustrated when you feel like, okay, you're living, but when you start feeling that you're alive, or you have this new wave of energy within you, which is gonna just make you feel as if you every time you wake up from the bed, you feel like you're on this journey of wanting to conquer yourself. You fight against yourself, you fight all the battles that you have on the inside. You feel happy. Why? You have beaten the one person, the only one person who has who has all the strength to pull you down. Who's that? That's you. Once you beat this person who's inside you, you get rid of all the laziness that's there, mental and physical. You start intellectually feeding all the information that is needed, all the knowledge, this is what we call as vidya. I'll talk about this in the upcoming videos. When you start feeding yourself, once you start purifying your intellect, everything that is needed for you, you'll realize it's right in front of your eyes. Most of the times we are just blind enough to see what's in front of us. We go in search of it. We go to places, we go to different countries, we go to mountains, we go to n number of people. What do? We come back, we sit, we close your eyes, and then comes the realization. All of this can be just done in one single place. Here. Never ever let the enthusiasm to know new things, to learn new things, to experience and explore new things. This is the most basic requirement of you to feel alive. This is what I call as tapas, enthusiasm or zeal. Very, very essential. The second, svadhyaya. Svadhyaya is what we call as self-study. All of us have studied 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, or some are lifetime learners. Svadhyaya is what we call as self-study. You've studied textbooks, you've done your graduation, you've done your masters, you've studied for 10 years medicine, you've studied for 15 years, and you've got your postdoctoral degree, whatever it may be. Have you studied yourself? It's very, very essential. You spend 10 hours devoting all your time and energy and focus in wanting to understand a subject that's something outside of you. How much time do you allocate for yourself to understand yourself? Why is it that you don't have this concept of self-study in your life? What are all the characters that you know about yourself? What is it that makes you feel alive on the inside? Why aren't you devoting the time to study yourself? You have to ask this question. Why am I not taking out at least 1 hour, worst case half an hour in a day, to study about who I am? Svadhyaya, though it's called as a study of text, the actual subtle meaning is Svadhyaya is self-study, not self-study of a textbook, but self-study of your own self. Who you are, where you are, why you are where you are, why are you in the situation, whichever situation you are in. What is the purpose of life? Why you're here? What is it that is calling you? And why aren't you fulfilling that inner calling that keeps popping up every now and then? All these questions have to come. These are not the questions that disturb you, but these are the questions that actually let you grow and shine. It's very, very important that you devote time to study yourself. Svadhyaya, what we call a self-study, this is the actual meaning of it. You have to take out time. You fight, you devote hours together in order to get things done, in the outside world. Why don't you devote the same amount of time to understand your own self? The more you turn outwards, the more you disconnect from yourself from the inside. See, I'm not telling you that I'm a strict follower of this. I do have a certain things that I have to take care of, as each and every one of you have. You have responsibilities, you have to work, you have to do this, you have to do that. I completely agree with it. And each and every one of us have this, even I have this, and we will have this until we die. Accept this fact first. But after understanding this, after knowing that this is how life is, accept it, and then irrespective of whatever activities that indulge yourself in that particular day, in that particular month, in that particular year, make sure you devote a certain period of time in understanding your own self. You'll feel happy, trust me when I say this. The main reason for unhappiness or you to feel uncomfortable and unhappy with yourself is because you are disconnected with yourself. A certain amount of time in a particular day just to connect, sit, embrace, feel happy, accept, and just cherish that moment for your own self. That's really unique. That's actually the most basic necessity of you being a human. You have to give this time for yourself. You have to take out time to study yourself. It's very, very essential. It's very, very essential. Self-study, those days is self-study. We've studied 10 years, 15 years, 16 years. I mean, for God's sake, you study in a university, you study in a school, and you come out, you're blank. You have absolutely no idea what to do. You call this education? This is, I mean, you should start thinking now as to where exactly this has led to. I'm not telling you to give up whatever you're doing and then start your journey in the path of yoga. No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. But you have to start thinking. Or if you hadn't been doing this, start the process. What did you study? And each and everything that you read, you hear, you see, it has to contribute to understanding who you are. This is what we call a self-study. You hear, you listen, you speak, you see, you feel. All these things has to help you gain clarity with respect to who you are. If it's not, your life will become miserable. You listen to things that doesn't resonate to your inner core. You speak things, you speak about those things which you have absolutely no knowledge about. You see things which you aren't meant to. You feel things which you aren't meant to. It's just pushing you away from who you are. You do all these things and then you sit and cry on one particular day when all the sorrows just are bombarded towards yourself, saying, why did this happen to me? Does it make any sense? These things happen to you because you let it happen to you. Svadhyaya, what we call a self-study, is very, very essential if you actually have to, live the life to the fullest. All of us have this, all of us are seeking for something new every single day. How about seeking something new from your own self? You want people to entertain you, you want someone else to make you feel happy, you want some situation to happen so that you feel complete. Stop this. This is like a never-ending process. This made even my life miserable last year. Don't stop seeking, start searching inwards. I'm not saying that I this is the only thing that I do. I definitely enjoy traveling. I definitely enjoy going to the mountains. I enjoy, you know, having a conversation with people, sharing a meal, whatever it may be, socializing. There has to be a balance. Do not get lost in the process. That's exactly what I'm saying. Indulge yourself in all the activities that you do, but know and understand as to where the limits are. You have to know where to draw the line. Indulge. Do everything that makes you feel like, okay, you can gain happiness from it. But at the same time, know where it has to end and where you have to turn inwards. Indulge in activities. I'm not saying you to lead a life of brahmacharya, forget about everything, become a sannyasi, become a vairagi, develop ultimate detachment and say no to everything. No, it's not possible if you live in the world and if you live in the society like I do. It's impossible. You have to indulge yourself in this, but at the same time, on the inside, when you know, okay, this is not who I am, I'm doing all these activities just for the sake of doing it, life becomes much simpler. There's a sense of silence and calmness within you, which no one around you has. And once you achieve this, there's no stopping you. Because, why is this? Because you've started reading one of the most difficult books that has ever been written in the history of mankind. Understanding your own self. A book of understanding your own self. You've read so many books. When are you going to read your own book? There's immense knowledge within you. There's so much information within you just waiting to, burst out of yourself. Why haven't you tapped into this? We seek advice, we seek knowledge, we seek everything that we wish for externally. Why aren't we turning internally? Isn't this a big sin that you're creating for yourself? Svadhyaya, self-study. Most of the times, I can understand there'll be a big question mark when you start thinking about this. You start looking down on yourself saying, okay, Harsha, I can't do this. I can't do self-study because I don't have the strength or the mental strength or the physical ability to even withstand where I am with who I am. I completely understand. This is when you turn yourself towards the study of scriptures, be it the Yoga Sutras or the Hatha Yoga, anything for that matter. Why? Because what you have experienced in your life is what the big sages, monks, or even the greatest renunciates have experienced in their life. See, all of us are humans. Each and everything that we have encountered in our life, in this particular life, has been experienced by n number of people. That's why we read biographies, we read autobiographies, we read life stories of the Mahatmas. By reading this, what happens? You start to resonate, you start to understand, okay, these problems, this is common to everyone. Even the greatest of the greatest sannyasis, the monks or paramahamsas or renunciates, even they had problems. Physical problems, mental problems, intellectual problems, family problems. It's endless. If you read Vivekananda's life history, you'll be astonished as to the family problems that he had. And I'll talk about him in the subsequent videos. You talk about family problems. I don't think any of you, if you're watching this, are in such a state where you can't feed yourself 3 meals in a day. Swami Vivekananda couldn't. He couldn't. I'll talk about him in the subsequent videos. All of us have problems, and it's gonna be like that's how life is all about. It tries to get the best out of you by throwing problems in your face, and if you run, you'll die, or you just keep running until you die. Stop this. Face these problems head on. Self study, swadhyaya, or a study of those texts which helps you to reflect on yourself is very, very essential if you want to feel alive as a human. Read those texts, read those books, by reading which you feel as if there's a new wave of energy within you. If this isn't happening, you're just feeling drained out at the end of the day, my sincere and humble and honest suggestion, stay away from it. This is the second step of Kriya Yoga, Swadhyaya. Third step is what we call as Ishvara Pranidhanani. Ishvara, Shiva. Pranidhanani is to surrender. Ishvara Pranidhanani means surrendering at the lotus feet of the God. You don't believe in God? Well and good. Surrender to your own self. 99% of the problems that we experience in our life is because we are fighting with ourselves. Since we are fighting with ourselves, we end up fighting with everyone around us. So much of misery, so much of quarrel, so much of problems exist in and around you, in your family, in your work life, whatever it may be. Why? One simple reason. You're fighting with your own self. Why? You haven't accepted and you haven't surrendered to your own self. Start thinking right now. When was the last time you sat and accepted who you are and for what you are? You never surrender. This attitude of gratitude is very, very essential for you to grow. 99% of the people fight against this. They say this is not who I am, in spite of them being whoever they are. The more you fight against your inner nature, the more conflicts, the more miserable your life will become. All of you deep down know what your inner nature is. You accept it or not doesn't make a difference for me at all, or for anyone for that matter. Acceptance and gratitude with acceptance is very, very essential for you to grow. You keep on fighting, you'll keep fighting. This is a never ending journey. One of the best ways for you to shine, one of the best ways to feel this wave of happiness within you, and the best way for you to feel as if you're here to fulfill the destiny that you're born for, is by surrendering to your own self. You don't believe in God? Don't forget about him. You don't believe in divine power? Don't. Do you believe in you? That's exactly what matters. If you don't believe in you, even and no one can help. No one can help. Self belief is one of the most basic necessity for you to live and feel alive as a human. If you don't believe in yourself, you're more dead than alive. This is one of the famous quotes of Swami Vivekananda also, that I live to the core. It's very, very essential that you surrender to yourself. Accept the nature that you are. Each and every one of you are born for a reason, and you have the habits that you have for a reason. Tap into that. I'm not telling you to tap into the bad habits that you have, waking up like 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the morning, or going to bed like 2 o'clock in the morning. No. There are a lot of bad habits which you would have inculcated after 16 or 17 years. Do not trust and do not believe those habits. Follow and understand those habits that you were following and that was very close to you before you turned 16, and start following that again. Acceptance and surrendering to your own self just makes you feel so happy on the inside. All the obstacles that you're facing in life, personally and professionally, just drops. All the obstacles that are there because you're fighting against yourself. Why do you keep going against your inner nature? Stop fighting against your inner nature. Acceptance of oneself is the biggest blessing, is the biggest gift that you can give yourself. Each and every year, what we call as the day of you being born, birthday, the day of you being born, is the day you accept yourself. Instead, what do? You start feeling as if you're aging. You start undergoing a lot of anti-aging remedy therapy techniques or whatever it may be. Every year you grow, every year you evolve, every year there's a new body, there's a new mind, there's a new you. Why are you fighting it? Accept it. Surrender to your own self. It's a journey. I completely agree. You shouldn't fight aging. You shouldn't fight growth. It's natural. Even I used to fight growth. There will be a lot of things that you'll have to let go in order to get whatever you wish for. It's that's how life is. You have to let go of whatever you were before. If you keep holding on to that part, you'll miss out on seeing the brighter side of yourself. Accept, surrender, and grow. Stop fighting aging. Stop thinking about it. You know, one of the biggest secret is you stop fighting aging, you'll stop aging. It's as simple as that. This may sound way too simple, but this is the core of you wanting to feel young and alive on the inside. If you keep up the enthusiasm because of which you feel alive, a new wave of energy comes in you. And when this new wave of energy starts to flow in you, naturally the eye starts to glow, the face starts to glow. The soul, once the soul that shines on the inside, naturally the skin will, it'll become vibrant. There's a new wave of energy. And it's naturally felt by people around you. They'll be like, what have you done today? You are glowing. Nothing. You just followed one simple rule. You stayed true to who you are. And what's the next thing that you did? You're starting to study yourself. You've started to read one of the most interesting, complex book that has ever been written, yourself. And the third one, Ishvara Pranidhanani. You have surrendered to yourself. If you believe in Supreme, if you believe in a superpower, you believe in a power that's beyond you, surrender to Him. Say that you are part of this and that you're surrendering so that it helps you expand your consciousness. This is what we call as Kriya Yoga. Tapas Svadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani. Tapas Svadhyaya Ishvara Pranidhanani Kriya Yoga. This is what Kriya Yoga is all about. It is a very simple explanation. This is what is explained the first sutra, the second chapter of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. I'll share more in the upcoming ones. I hope this was informative. Please do share your views in the comments as to how you felt. If there's anything that you want me to share, please feel free to share in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the thumb icon. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.